Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly, unfiltered podcast. You always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways, and that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan, and this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Can you break down an example of caption or web copy that would attract the DIYers and show how you'd rewrite it for a high-end client?
Yes. So
maybe even like that time-saving one.
okay. Yeah, so okay, so for this particular client, like their website was like there was a lot of copy, like you literally, like, you could write your own emails because their clients are kind of like these internet famous personal brands. So like I think that messaging at one point felt really strong because it was like kind of like aligning themselves with their clients and saying like, you are a good marketer, like you could do this, but now you're so busy that you need to offload it to somebody else who's going to do it just as good. And I think on the surface level that seems like, yeah, that seems pretty good. But the problem is like if you're doing that, you're inherently speaking to somebody who is in DIY mode, like they're currently doing all of it and they're not yet convinced to let it go. And you don't ever want to be in that space. Like you are not in the convincing business when you're writing your website content. And I would say most of your social media content too. I mean, probably some of it you want to do a little bit of more top of funnel stuff, but your buyers, like you don't want to like convince somebody to like let go of the DIY and all of a sudden pay you like $3,000 a month or $10,000 a month or whatever it is. Like that is a hard lift and that's just not like sustainable doing. So you want to make sure instead that your messaging is shifting to somebody who is already like actively looking to hire somebody. So like maybe they've been DIYing, but they're already convinced like they're done with it, whatever. Or maybe, a lot of my clients actually, it kind of feels weird to say this, but a lot of them are like poaching clients from other people who like aren't doing a good job. This is especially like the agencies that I work with. Like I'm working with a Shopify agency right now, and that's who their client is. Like they're charging such a level that they're not going to be able to work with businesses who are just dipping their toe into hiring an agency. Like they're working with businesses whose pain points are more about like the fact that their experience with their current agency is not good, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of amorphous, but it's just like getting your mindset into the person who is like, I have the money set aside, whether because I'm already paying somebody worse than you, or I have the money set aside because I am ready to make this leap, like fully prepared, not just like starting to wrap my head around it. And I think if you do that, like you'll naturally start like talking to them in a different way. Like you won't be saying things like, okay, it's time to let go. Like it's time to, I know you could do this, but I can do it for you and you'll save so much money. Like that, because that just doesn't make sense for this type of client because they're going to be like, yeah, obviously. Like, but you'll be saying things like, here are the results my clients get. Like here's who I work with specifically to get them this outcome. Is this what you're looking for? Yeah.
Okay, this kind of brought up something that's off topic but also on topic, and it's kind of a two-parter, but I feel like this is something that one is not going away anytime soon and is trickled into marketing and business and operations in every instance of the online business world. But I want to bring up the buzzword AI because we didn't plan for like any AI questions, and I'm really shocked that we didn't even add anything here, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. But my two-parter question is, when it comes to, and again, I know it's different from industry to industry, and who we're talking to about service providers, but AI, can that be a topic that can be a messaging that different service providers can use, like versus like time? And then also I'll save it for a second or two, like down the down the episode here, but I'd love to talk about your perspective on AI and copy and messaging, but we'll get to that in just a minute.
So wait, say the first question again. Is AI... Wait,
So
I didn't understand it.
can AI be like another messaging tool or theme, sorry, not tool, theme that someone can use versus talking about time or whatnot? Like, if they're thinking about their, if they're trying to write to their ideal clients and they're saying that, I'm a social media marketer, and yes, you can use ChatGPT to create your content calendar and write your captions, but ChatGPT isn't going to do blah, 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 or AI tool is going to do blah, blah, blah. Could that be a theme that people could lean into as well? And I wanted to hear like if you had any specific advice around that, either yes or no.
Yeah, I would say no. So in my perspective, like from working with clients who are working with people who are paying them high 4 to 5 figures, like per project or per month or whatever, somebody who is paying that is not the type of person who is like going to be like, I'm either going to do $0 because I'm going to use ChatGPT, or I'm going to do like $4,000 a month. Like that's kind of crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if somebody is doing that, like they don't give a shit about quality. Like honestly, like they're like viewing you as the same as AI. Like it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like a weird fluke, I think. And I remember when I first started out in copywriting, like years ago, before AI was even a thing, I would get clients who would come to me and be like, I'm interested in working with you. And then they would say, actually, my niece, who's an English major right now at my community college, like said she could just write my website for me. And to me, this is kind of the same person who today would be like, actually, AI can just do it for me, right? Because they're just looking to get it done. But a premium client, they're probably using AI because we all are, but they are like, this is not like at the level that I want it done, or like the amount that I would have to use AI and like train it, and like it would still be a lot of work for them. So I don't think your clients are like one-to-one comparing you to AI. So I think that kind of messaging is going to again speak to somebody who you're trying to like wrench the DIY out of their hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably stay away from it.
Okay. Yeah. And any thought around kind of taking it the different avenue, not even thinking about writing to like as a theme or a pain point or whatnot, but any thoughts around businesses or service providers, marketers, copywriters who are using AI in terms of just writing their copy? Could be website copy, messaging, using it to create chatbots. I mean, I feel like even, again, not to say every copywriter is the same by any means, but I've seen so many copywriters lately adding on like a chatbot creation service to help train an AI. Like they would, kind of be able to write copy themselves. But any thoughts around AI in general in terms of messaging copy? Love it, hate it, hot takes.
I think it's a fantastic tool to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's fantastic for like research stuff. So for example, like one use case that I use it for every project is most projects, website projects, I will interview a handful of my clients, previous or current best clients, to sort of understand like how they are talking about these things and get that language. And before AI, I would like literally like be line by line in the transcript, like highlighting stuff. And it was so tedious and I hated it, right? But it was so worth it. But now I can ask AI to do that for me. I can like give it the transcript and say like pull out lines, and I've trained it how to do that. And I'm happy for it. I will use it, for, oh my God, like I've got this like paragraph and it sounds weird for this specific reason. AI, can you help me like rewrite this sentence so it sounds better? And it'll do it, and sometimes it's not good and sometimes it is good, and I'll use it or whatever. I think it's a tool that in the right hands can speed you up, can make your writing a lot better, can make your marketing a lot better. I think in the wrong hands, you end up with AI slop that we're seeing everywhere, where it's like
the long dashes.
The long dash. I mean, listen, I love an M dash, but like I did this post on Threads that was like, hey, I'm looking for a referral to help me turn my business challenges into opportunities. And like, just like, I was just doing like a sarcastic thing, but like, that's literally like headlines that I see everywhere. Like, I help you turn your social media challenges into opportunities. And you're like, what the hell does that mean? It's just like bad. but that kind of stuff is everywhere now because of AI. So I don't know. In the wrong hands, it's terrible. But in the right hands, it's, it's a help. So
Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing how everyone uses AI too, and I feel like it's always given me more, even beyond the conversations. Of course, like it can be a great tool for marketing as well, but hearing and how people use it for operations and finance and personal things as well has been really cool. So definitely a tool that will keep evolving. And as someone who was working on a little AI project for a client this morning, I was just sending not mean slacks to the team, but mean slacks about AI. Like, I don't know why anyone would think that this is replacing us as marketers. This is taking me way more time than probably if I just even opened up Photoshop and did it myself. But anyway, I digress. And I'll get us back on track with our questions. Going back to kind of talking about, websites and again, attracting higher level clients. What do you think about showing your pricing and packages publicly on your website? Does it help or hurt when trying to attract those high level, high caliber clients?
I'm most excited for this answer because I feel like it's like today, like I feel like this is something I always hear, like to include pricing or not to include pricing. I feel like right now, this is going to determine.
Yeah, hot take.
No pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
Okay, so there are caveats, and I will name one, but I think generally included in some way. Yeah. Even high-paying clients like are smart with their investments. They have a budget in mind, and they know how far they're going to stretch it for the right person. Some of them are even trying to make sure that you're not pricing too low because it's like a red flag to them. So if you have a like common range, or if you have like fixed prices for fixed deliverables or service bundles or programs, whatever it is, like maybe it's custom, but you're like, we work with people for 6 months and it's $12,000, whatever. Like, if you have that and the only reason you're not sharing it is because you want to gatekeep it because you think it makes you look more luxurious or something, I wouldn't do that kind of mind game stuff. Like, I would just show it. I wouldn't make it like so big and like in like bright letters, like keep the price, like something crazy like that. But just like a subtle, like, here's the investment, or like most clients spend blah, 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 blah. Now, I do work with some people where we don't show the pricing. They tend to be consultants. It tends to be people where it's just so custom that it's so like, once they talk to somebody, it could be like 3 trainings over a weekend or a lunch and learn, or it could be like a 3-year engagement. Like, it's so different that it wouldn't make sense to be like anything from $1,500 to $300,000. Like, that doesn't help anybody. So if that's your situation, then I think just don't share it. Like, feel free. I would share it if the only reason you're not is because of a mind game. Like,
Okay. If someone listening feels stuck attracting the wrong audience, what's the first thing they should shift in their messaging?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's gonna depend. I think building on a lot of what we've been talking about so far, it would be something about like, sell your expertise, not your execution. I think that would be like my soundbite answer. The bigger answer might be like, there could be bigger problems at play. Like, it could be a shift as simple as that, or it could be like, you have no idea who you're really trying to serve. Like, all your clients all over the place and you haven't committed to anyone specific. I'm not talking about like an industry niche necessarily, but just like a stage of business, a moment that you're trying to serve. Like, where are they at that you're trying to get them somewhere else? So it could be something bigger like that, or maybe you have no clue like what your positioning is. Like, you're like, if we've been talking and you're like, well, I just don't know like why somebody would choose me, because I really am just doing what other people are, which is really real and everybody goes through that. But if it's something bigger like that, like, then it's probably like, go find like a brand strategist, or maybe like a business coach, even like somebody who can help you figure those foundational pieces out. But if you know those things and you're confident in them, but the problem is you're just not like saying it, like you're just like doing the wrong messaging, then something like, make sure you're selling your expertise and not the execution can be really helpful.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's great. And I love that you keep mentioning the soundbite answer because we're like mental note clipping that social media. But I think it's just such a great takeaway, you know, to not really focus and 100% and put all of your eggs in the basket of just thinking about execution, which I think so many people get caught in that. Like they're just, it's the only thing that they portray in their messaging in general. A new thing that we've been doing to the end of our podcast is kind of flipping the script because here we are drilling you with all of these questions. But we wanted to know, Krista, is there any question that you would want to ask us?
Yes. So I'm in marketing. I am not a social media marketer. And there's one platform that I just like cannot crack, and that is Instagram. Probably because I'm a writer, I'm not a designer. Like I struggle with the visuals and the making of the videos and all of that. So my question is like, does it even make sense to just use the stories feature? Like that is the only feature I like using. Is that even a thing? Like or should I just like not even use the platform, I guess? Like I'm just honestly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let Maddie kick off because you said the magic word, stories, and I saw her face light up. If you wanna share first, and then I'll share my thoughts too.
Listen, I love an Instagram story strategy. I personally think yes. Like you were asking like if you were just to use that feature. Yeah. Like I think which might be such a hot take. I mean, yes, I think you should be like like the whole point of your Instagram stories in my opinion is to lead people back to your to your feed to like there's just so many features in the stories like with the links that you can lead people to like go to your website, features that I don't think enough of us use or even like we honestly sleep on. And so soundbite or sound little clip, yes, I think yes, that you shouldn't give up on Instagram if you like, but I think, like that strategy where being consistent on it, to instill like make it interesting. Don't just like yes, be posting like your behind the scenes face to camera, but also, doing polls where I know this is so silly and cheesy and simple, but like a simple this or that every Tuesday or Thursday where it can be fun, like relating it to copy or like for you specifically. But long story short, yes, I think yes.
So what would you do with the feed then? Because it'd be weird if it was like blank, right? Like if there was nothing there or...
Yeah.
You could
So I would say don't leave it blank. And I'm even going to say the hot take. I know this is like the most controversial topic over the past probably since 2020, since COVID happened. Don't do a 9 grid. It really is not worth it when it comes to all things Instagram feed because Instagram feed content, so posting photo, graphic, I know you said not heavy on the graphic or the videos, but reels, carousels, whatever you're posting on the feed is meant to attract people who aren't following you. So by doing that, you're reaching more people. I hate to say it, but you're reaching the masses on Instagram. Now, getting them to your profile and having your profile, like Maddie was saying, there's so many like key pieces that people leave out, like the bio, great place to send people the bio. Again, I think naturally people are going to click the link in bio. I think it is very outdated to put in your bio, arrow, download this, tap my bio to book me, or you know what I mean? Like to put something so obvious in someone's face.
Noted.
I think doesn't really make sense. And I'm not calling anyone out here. Please don't ever.
I don't remember if I did that or not, but it's possible.
Bio say I need to go check that after this. I'm just kidding, but thinking about it in the sense of people are going to take that action because people know you can't have links on feed. So they know that they're either going to find links in stories. Thank you for Instagram for eliminating swipe up. But they're also going to have that one link in your Instagram bio. I think your bio should have a spot in there in the bio field or in the somewhere on line 1, 2, or 3, whatever line. I don't think it really matters. I would put in there something along the lines of Again, depending on how consistent you'll be with your story strategy, watch stories daily for copy tips, copy hot takes, something, whatever that theme that kind of like Maddie was talking about, that again can be simple, but like getting people there makes the most sense. Now, I think your Instagram feed, I know this is a hot take, but I don't think it needs to consist of a lot of graphics. I don't think it needs to consist of a lot of videos. And if they are videos, I would keep them simple, and kind of taking a page out of like Maddie's own book here, like do it in stories first, see if it works, then post it as a video on the feed. And I'll let Maddie
Oh,
the
okay.
ring.
And because I mean, okay, wait, and on the feed I want to add another note to Jessica's too. So for your feed, I agree with the not doing the 9 grid, but I would say, making sure the top 3 pins are like about you, services, and something else, like you're good with words, where it's just you like, even if they're word heavy, like something that like where it's like that first, you don't have to be good at graphics, but where it's like those taglines, like literally maybe it's the 3 taglines that gets people to click it and like swipe through the carousel. And then like, because obviously I have your store, like your profile pulled up right now too, and you're like doing Instagram highlight cover, like your stories. But yes, the testing, I love testing out mini series on stories. I don't know why, for me, like it just, I'm comfortable with that audience. And like, even I as a social media manager, like I still get nervous hitting that publish button and letting the world see it, like it's out in the void or whatever. So I personally like to do little mini series. Again, have I ever like gone through? No, again, that's for another day, another time. But where it's like you could test out like different series that maybe you then turn into reels too, like a reel series, to see what they like. Because okay, last thing about engagement though, something I think not enough of us talk about is like your stories engagement. Everybody, like, I feel like I always see social media managers posting like my like clients like in feed stats, which is great, so like the reach and whatever, but your stories can have even better reach and impressions, engagement, so on and so forth, because like you can track like how many people are tapping that link, how many people are like voting on that poll. And like in the beginning it might not be a lot, but like if you're consistent with it, I've noticed like how much, like even on my personal stories, like my engagement has skyrocketed since I've like been pretty consistent with it. I'm like, I guess there is something to this. So
Yeah.
and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So wait, can I clarify? So it sounds like what you're saying is like, yes, I can mostly use the stories, but I should have like not like 9 posts, but like 3 posts at the top. Like,
So you can pin up to 3 posts on an
okay.
Instagram feed. You can do it on the main feed. That can be any post, a post, a carousel, a reel, whatever's on the main grid. If you tap on the reels button, you can pin 3 reels, but we're not talking about a very heavy reel strategy, so I wouldn't really consider or worry about doing that. Now, beyond that, I do think it's important to post on the feed, like post consistently. And to me, consistency looks like anything. So say, for example, like Krista, if you can commit to, and again, I hope these numbers aren't scary, but if you can commit to 4 or 5 days per week that you can show up on stories, if it's a little less, if it's a little more, perfect, but pick that super consistent number, put it in your calendar. I put stories for like myself in calendar, or I will never do them because they need to be manually posted. So I have to hold myself accountable. Stick to that consistently. Then schedule posts to go out on the feed. That consistency can be a lot less. I would even consider that to be like 1 to 2 per week. 3 if you could really pull that many posts out, but I'm going to just say 1 to 2. It just feels a little bit more attainable. And what those posts could look like, again, I think that Instagram is all about finding your audience. And there are so many creators that I love, and I love them for different reasons. I follow some creators. I couldn't tell you what they look like. And I know that sounds really weird, but they don't show their face in their content, but they post photo dumps of their week, and they live in these like beautiful houses, and that's probably why I follow them, because I'm like, dang it, wish my house looked
Look at
like
your photo dump.
doesn't, but I know what their house looks like. I know what their kitchen. They post a photo dump of, here's everything I did this weekend, right? Farmers market, matcha, coffee shop, picking flowers, eating this, eating that, cooking this, like working on my business. Like I can picture that consistently. They're doing photo dumps, they're doing one photo, they're doing long captions underneath. I feel like there's not a right or wrong answer. Long captions, short captions, medium captions. I think it depends on your audience. And it's also a little bit about what do they want and what do they want to consume on Instagram. But honestly, my hot take too is find an audience who wants longer captions. You're really great with words. People will love to read that over reading my captions, because it's a big struggle for me to write really long captions. I love a good, quick, quippy caption. But anyway, then again, sticking to that is kind of something that can be consistent in your own way. You can, do photo dumps. If you did want to pop in a graphic here or there, if you'd want to do no graphics, if you wanted to do like a short reel here or there, that could work too. But I think about the feed of attracting more people who aren't following you already, getting them to know about you a little bit more by reading that content Maddie mentioned in the pinned posts, then doing your story strategy consistently, whatever that looks like. Like we said, we love a good theme on, a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, Friday. Those themes, there's your highlights. It kind of like builds the profile like itself, like building it for you and what's working for you versus like, oh, IG Guru says post 3 reels a day. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm really good at editing reels, but I can't even post 3 reels a day. So hopefully that seems a little bit more attainable, because I think, and my last point to say too, Instagram's a great platform. Your people are definitely on it. It's just finding a way that works for you in terms of like, the posting, and also just with what you can create.
Okay, I've been taking the notes of the things. I have can I ask like one final question that's like,
Absolutely, yeah.
okay, so I like this idea of like doing photo dumps and doing like a photo with a caption instead of having to make like the graphics every time and stuff like that, or like posting the videos from stories. I could totally do that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My question is with the photos thing. I think the reason I haven't been doing this is because like my photos aren't like super professional. Like it would just like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not out here doing like photo shoots all the time. I guess I could. I don't know. But
that's better. I think that's
yeah, I was gonna say that's honestly better for that. Like I think that's what the young kids want. That's what like from what I've gathered. And here's like a fun thing
like
that
they
I
want
recently
the unprofessional. Is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
Yes,
they want the
yes, and yes, and so also I was on the side of TikTok where again the Gen Z was saying like there's a formula to the photo dump, and like there. Do I believe that completely? No. But I did use, I haven't told, this is news to Jessica, but I recently, like, I used GPT to be like, what, like, formula would you give me for, like, a photo dump? And it was interesting. Like, and what it gave me was something that I did consistently see, like how Jessica was saying, like food, drink, like what you're reading. And we're about to get into our weekly report where it's like you could always share that too. I know, perfect segue, but like so like we share our weekly report, like what we're reading, eating, playing, but like we've had our audience, they'll share their weekly reports with us by tagging us. So like hint hint to the listeners and to you, be sure to tag us in your weekly reports. But so like using that formula for the photo jump too, with like what you're reading, what you're eating, and like like if you want to make it, I'm still a millennial. I'm still going to like try and make it artsy, but like some of these photo dumps are unhinged that I'm just like I would never. I
like
could
from
never.
businesses
I'm just
that
like
are like business accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I
okay.
Put like photo of them, something that seems somewhat aesthetic for the front, for the first card. Also,
Yes.
newer feature on Instagram, you can reorder carousels. It's like really, really new and kind of rolling out. So like you did really like if you posted a couple of weeks of photo dumps and at the end of the month you're like, wait, my feed looks a little like kind of crazy. Can I rearrange it? Like a newer feature. So that could happen. But yeah, I've seen people put memes in there. I've seen people put like screenshots of text messages. Just, I don't know. And it just, again, very random, but like that could be funny.
There's
Yeah, it
always
could
like
be
a
fun to
theme,
kind of do a
though, I
photo
found.
dump of like, you know, I don't know, our little like selfie like for the podcast, and then like maybe talking about like what was on your report, or I don't know, a picture of like the book, because I know Rebecca Yarros, obviously celeb you'd love to meet, but all of that could be like a summary like in the caption, like, you know, again, you're better at words than we are, but yeah, hopefully that helps. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh my god, I feel like I owe you money now. This was like
invoice is coming through.
Okay.
Okay, let's dive in. I know we're almost done, but this is so fun. We could probably keep this conversation going for so long, but then our listeners would be like, "What is with the longest episode you guys have ever posted?" But okay, let's dive into the weekly report. I know we hinted at that now, but Maddie, do you want to read it, or do you want me to read off the questions?
Let's see. Or I guess
Okay.
I will. Okay, so what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading a book called Beautyland. It's a fiction novel, pretty new, about like a girl growing up in like in Philly, but she's actually like an alien who has to like report back on like the quirks of humanity, but she's also like a real human. You know, she's sort of like this like weird hybrid. It's just like a interesting commentary of like, it's funny, it's heartwarming, whatever. So I recommend it so far.
Oh, okay. And then what is one thing you're eating?
I'm kind of really into Greek yogurt waffles right now. So like you make waffle batter with like adding Greek yogurt, and it makes it like really moist.
Yum. Okay. And then what are you playing?
I'm playing, we have this game called Kitchen Soccer with my dog. So we have like his little ball, and in our kitchen we basically play keep away but with our feet and the ball. So it's like we're playing little soccer, and then he's trying to get it with his feet. It's really funny because he's huge and goofy, and he's like, and like getting it, and then he's so excited when he gets it. It's cute. Fun.
Oh, and then what are you obsessing over?
Fourth Wing. Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Okay.
If anyone is listening and they read the third book, you're like, oh my god, like you have to.
We've had a few guests who are obsessed with that as well.
Oh my god, connect us.
Okay. And then what? Yes. And then what is one thing you're recommending?
I'm currently watching a show called Bad Sisters. It's on Apple Plus.
Do you like it? I haven't started it, but I'm like curious.
I really do like it. So it's set in Ireland, so that's just fun. But it's also like I'm into like murder mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a straightforward whodunit, but it is like there's a murder at the heart of it, and there's like mystery, and like I like it. I recommend it.
Okay, and then what are you treating yourself to lately?
Matcha lattes forever and always. Such an LA girl, but it just like feel so much better for me than coffee, so I love it.
Yes, I'm here for the matcha latte treat. I would put that as my weekly report, but we do them every week, and I think everyone would be sick of me at that point. But Krista, thank you so much for sharing with us today. I feel like we covered so many fun topics around messaging and copy, and I just feel like there was a lot of really good takeaways for our audience, and it was also really great to meet you and for us to all be connected now, and of course to geek out over Instagram, because we're social media nerds, so we love that aspect of it too. But where can our listeners find you online?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. New strategy forthcoming as of 30 seconds ago. But it's Krista Walsh copywriter there. Also Threads connected to this. I do like Threads. Threads is easy, you know, as a writer. And then the other big place would be LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, Krista Walsh copywriter again. You can find me there.
Perfect. Awesome. We will have all of Krista's links in the show notes of this episode that you can grab right from your favorite podcast player. You can also go to hashtagmanage.com to grab all of the links. And of course, to make sure you're following Krista on Instagram so you can like and comment and engage with every single new post that we gave her the good idea. So we look like we know what we're talking about as two social media managers. But I'm excited. I'm, of course, also excited to see everything roll out myself. But Krista, thank you again for being on the podcast this week. It was so great having you, and yeah, just great to make your acquaintance.
Yeah,
and
likewise.
Thank you everyone for listening to this episode. We'll be back next week with another episode of Hashtag Managed. Being a social media manager can feel like folding a fitted sheet while you're trying to explain at the family reunion what it is you actually do online. But you don't have to do it alone. The Hashtag Managed Collective Mentorship is your weekly dose of business strategy, advice, and let's be honest, therapy. Grab your lunch, hop on our weekly lunch break coaching calls with myself and Maddie, and let's figure out how to thrive in this wild social media management world. Sign up now at hashtagmanaged.com/mentorship. Use code MANAGED for 20% off your mentorship. That's MANAGED. Join us now at hashtagmanaged.com/mentorship. We'll see you there at the next lunch break therapy sesh. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the hashtag hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at hashtag managed on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.